What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 119 of the Offshore Gamescast. I'm Dave.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Lile.
And today we're emerging to talk about Cocoon.
That we are. And Dylan is just hiding now, staying in his cocoon because it's so comfy
it
there.
Felt safe in there.
Dylan's just ashamed of playing the other reindeer games.
What, reindeer games?
Yeah, I want to play a little reindeer game and you're ashamed, so you hide away.
What are you talking about?
You'll never understand. You're just not philosophical enough.
Yeah, no, we won't understand if you don't explain.
You can't just throw out the term reindeer games.
Look, I'll be over here playing my reindeer games, and when your antlers fall off, we'll reevaluate.
Okay, we're talking about Cocoon today. Hi, everyone. What are we talking about next week, Dylan?
Nothing with reindeers, but it does involve elephants because we're talking about Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
That sounds wonderful.
It is wonderful.
And you know what sounds amazing? The next week after, I'll be talking spectacularly about Spider-Man 2.
Woohoo!
The ultimate Spider-Man game.
Are you just trying to throw in like all the adjectives that have gone behind? You did amazing, you got spectacular, and now you got ultimate.
Isn't that it? Isn't that like the big three?
Probably.
Isn't that like the three Ivy Leagues, like the big three? Or is it like Yale or something? I don't know.
Yale Spider-Man.
Yale Spider-Man.
There should be a
finally
graduation
going
suit.
to college.
College duty.
And before we jump into this, as always, if you enjoy anything about us, whether it is on YouTube with our faces and some gameplay, or on podcast apps with just our voices and not our faces or gameplay, if you like any of that, please leave us a rating, please subscribe, please follow, leave a review. That's the stuff that helps more than you would think, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yummy.
All right, let's get into Cocoon. It was developed. What are you doing? Oh, okay. It was developed by Geometric Interactive and published by Annapurna Interactive, which I did not know until I looked it up for this review.
I did the same thing. I had no idea, and I was like, it's kind of silly that they're both interactive.
Yeah, it is, but it also makes sense that it's Annapurna. And it was released on September 29th, 2023 for the PS5, PS4, the Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC, and it's on Game Pass. Whoop whoop! So if you have Game Pass...
Really? Got some good releases on Game Pass lately.
Liza P, Cocoon, we got Jasant now, Starfield,
Thirsty Suitors.
Thirsty Suitors is Game Pass.
I started playing that last night. I don't know what to think of it.
I also started playing that last night.
It's so amazing.
I don't know if I like it.
Oh, you're wrong.
You're weird. You're weird.
Excellent.
You don't get it. It's okay.
I also thought the skating felt like shit.
Cocoon is a one-button puzzling game that creates worlds within worlds. And that's all you need to know. Review over. Go play it.
Whoa. 10 out of 10.
Well, it's not a 10 out of 10 for me, but I think it's a 10 out of 10 for Dave. Spoilers.
It's not a 10 out of 10 for me. I don't remember what I think of it. I know what I think of it. I just don't remember how good I think it is. I think it's really good. It's not perfect, but it's really good.
That is true. We start with the story this week because there really isn't much to say. You play as a moth/man creature that runs around in these biomechanical worlds, and pretty much everything else that happens is up to your interpretation. I would say.
Perhaps the Mothman?
No, you're very colorful and pretty. You got green, you got like pale, like pastels.
You're not like
pastels. That's very topical that we are wearing these colors for this game, I think. What did you ask? Sorry, Dylan.
That was the Mothman. That's
Okay.
it's okay.
I don't know the Mothman. I don't know horror.
It's
the Mothman's one of like the creepy
like a cryptid,
night stories. Right? Cryptid, like Bigfoot. He's like a Bigfoot. Like he's in that genre.
He's like Bigfoot, but if you see Mothman, tragedy follows.
Yeah, well,
there's a Chupacabra and the Jersey Devil and Rodney Dangerfield. There's so many.
You're playing as a creature like that. You have
Classic.
wings. You can't really fly, though. At least not.
But you can flap them, and they're kind of cute.
You can flap them, and they are indicators of what you can interact with which I thought was really neat.
So you're a shitty moth.
What?
You can't even fly.
Don't be so mean.
Not gonna survive in this world.
But yeah, story-wise, there isn't really much happening, but you can interpret some things if you so choose. And yeah, that's it about the story, really. There isn't much to say here. But this is not a story game. It's about the gameplay that we will get to later. Most of what's
happening is like, what's going on? Oh, okay, we're doing this now. What's going on? Okay, let's figure it out.
Exactly. So, art, style, and graphics. It is a very colorful game, but as we just said, it's mostly pastel. So
it feels like,
it's not like in your face, it's more contained.
So this is the dude behind both Limbo and Inside. And I feel like gameplay-wise, but still, I feel like there's like, going along that genre, I feel like we're just getting more and more like of the evolution, like full-on black and white. With Limbo, we're getting some very toned down colors, and Inside now we're getting much more colorful.
Yeah, I think style-wise, Somerville was more of what Limbo and Inside were, which also made sense because I think that was the level designer. So this dude is really the lead gameplay designer, and you can tell. I
was under the impression that this was just like the next game. It was
I don't think they exist at as that team anymore. I think the studio still exists, but not
just the about team everything. That made those games. Why you're playing it is exactly the same. There are very short timed things that you have to set things up just perfectly and get it done puzzle-wise down in a second. It's a lot of just running away and running to things, although there's really there's no general enemies except for certain set pieces. There's bosses, but like you're not you're not running away from a spider during like a very intense thing where you have to do things just right, but a lot of it is like timing puzzles and stuff like that, which is very known to that series.
You can't die except for the boss fight, and even though there you don't really die.
No, they're really not that hard.
Is it due to lack of flying?
You actually do get some flying later on, I think, right?
Well, you do get that water thingy where you glide on the water.
Yeah, you kind of like
swim.
No, I thought it was like an air bubble.
Stream. Yeah, it's like a jet stream, and you're
on this bubble, and it kind of shoots down air, so you're floating, and you control where it goes and whatnot. So you're just kind of like gliding around, terrified, and like.
Are you just like a really lazy moth? You only want to fly?
You're just small. You're just small.
You just came out of your cocoon, so your wings are still a little. They're still a little wet, so you can't really.
You haven't seen the new
That's my explanation. That's my explanation now.
There's so much going on.
Nope. When that happens, when two people are speaking at once, my brain just gives up. I can't do it. I got none of that.
And I love it.
I said you just came out.
And that's.
You just came out.
I think the most important takeaway here.
Oh, we're all taking a sip of a drink. Okay, I can do
that. Yeah, you can do it. No, you just came out of your cocoon. Your wings are still wet. That's why you can't fly. So, all right.
I got it that time.
Good. The colors that dominate are definitely the colors of the marbles, especially in the walls themselves. So you collect little marbles, and they have 3 different colors. They come in orange, green, and purple, and 1 white at the end. And the worlds within these marbles, because you can go inside of them, they are very much dominated by the color of the marble. So in the orange marble, you have a lot of sand and rocks.
Fucking
and
believe it or not.
And and not the sand game. And it's mostly just orange. And in the green, you have a lot of water and a lot of plants. And
Dylan, can you do me a favor?
No, what?
Because I know it's going to happen again. I know I'm going to be talking about another sand game. Can you add into our little audio section in Zencastr a small clip of Darude's Sandstorm to play intermittently whenever I need to talk about a sand game?
I'll see what I can do.
Just like 10 seconds, so it's not
limit?
Copyright.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's
something
a limit.
like that.
It's a very stylized art style, so it's not like reality adjacent or anything. It's
one of those where everything looks like clay.
Yeah, kind
very
of. That's
smooth.
True. Very smooth. It's very pretty to look at, in my opinion.
It's very pretty, and like
even the words are very simple shapes.
But there's depthy. Like there's a lot of detail going on with like foliage and other stuff. Like it's not just empty.
No, it's a very pretty game.
Mm-hmm.
And you have this very, very interesting mix of the organic stuff, but it's always fused with something mechanical. So even the cocoon you come out of in the very beginning, it has like tubes inside. So everything has this kind of like bug, insect-like shape, but it's all mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a robo-moth.
Yes, kind of, I guess.
With wet, broken wings.
That's just my interpretation. That has nothing to say.
Every game is just going to be RoboCop now.
Yeah, every game.
RoboCop in sand.
Oh no!
So there's technology everywhere, but it feels very organic, and it's a very interesting thing. It can be a bit gross at times, even, I would say, because it makes you a bit uneasy, but it's very, very cool and super interesting, and I really like that style.
Almost Matrixy with how it's like merged.
I haven't seen The Matrix, so I cannot say anything to that. But
everything has sunglasses on.
And then Rage Against the Machine plays at the end.
Yep.
And the insect-like feel especially goes for the bosses. They are larger than life insect-like creatures that have mechanical parts, and that's really where they laid that theme down, I think.
Who's building these mecha bugs?
Well, that's probably part of the interpretation that you can do in this game.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Yes.
Got it.
And it doesn't have many cutscenes, but the few that there are insane. When you start flying through the levels for whatever reason, on like not with your wings, but on mechanical platforms and stuff.
So you do fly.
It all looks so cool. The camera pans are incredible and so neat. I don't know, there's just so much style to this game.
So like cinematic?
Yes, very, very. Like and especially it does that thing that some side scrollers do when you're on a thing like that, and then the camera pans out and you slowly realize how big your environment truly is.
Oh my god, there's the one level where everything looks like the diamond.
Yeah.
And it just kept going, and I'm thinking to myself, how fucking big is this level? Like, I'm sitting here like, what the fuck, bro? Yeah. Come on.
And it's like a beehive or something. It has all of these geometrical forms that seem to serve some sort of purpose. You don't know what that purpose is, but it is definitely, it feels like really good world building without any words whatsoever.
I think that's a good time to talk about how not only there's those 3 different color worlds because of how the puzzles work and everything and how big these maps actually are. It turns into a big old small Metroidvania where you got to go and do shit, get other stuff. You can't. I can't get over there until I go get this. and you got to go back and hop into this world and get that, and then come back and go into that world and go do this, and then you can do this and go to that world, and bam, you're at In-N-Out.
It's sponsored? It's a sponsored game?
Yeah, you get monster fries at the end.
I feel like, for me, because I don't really like Metroidvanias, it didn't have the feel of a Metroidvania. It still felt linear for some reason for me.
I feel like the puzzles,
but it is a good comparison. It is a good comparison, definitely.
I feel like the puzzles are so well thought out and clever that you're not focused on the fact of needing to go back to a world and do this. You're so focused on like, all right, how the fuck do I make this work? Because there's one point in the game where I did something and like my mind shattered in half, and I was like, what the fuck? I could do that? Yes. And then I had to figure out how to finish the rest of the puzzle. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And then I figured it out. I'm like, this is so smart. This is so stupidly smart. And like, that's why I love this game.
Yes, this game definitely makes you feel like you are very, very smart. And that's, if a puzzle game can do that, then it has served its purpose.
Yes.
And I like cool. that. I really like it.
There's one tiny, tiny puzzle that is so stupid, and I love it. And let's just talk about how the worlds work. You have this like, all right, the game starts, what the fuck's going on? It's dark as shit, you're in this small ass room, and all of a sudden this hulking insect monster's like threatening you, and then disintegrates and goes into this small orb. And you just gotta be okay with that. And then you take the orb and it's yours now. And you find this little pedestal that turns it on and creates this big puddle of water around, which is fucking really sick looking artistically, the way it's designed. Because it has like the ripples when you're running around in it too. But whatever orb you put there, it almost shows like a visual image of what's going on in that world based off where a certain orb is placed in that world. It's almost like a crystal ball that can see in its immediate surroundings. So if you take it from one part of one world and put it to another part, and you gut out and look at the puddle, it'll show you the area that you just were in. And that leads to certain puzzles needing you to jump in and out of worlds in order to solve them. And there's one point where there's this laser, and it's coming by, and if you get hit with it, it takes your little, there's a little drone buddy you get at one point. It steals your little drone buddy or something. But you got to be able to get your orb from one side to the other. So you have to end up hopping out of the world, and in the puddle you see in real time the laser moving in the world that you were just in. And then you have to immediately hop back in and go do what you got to do. And I thought that was just so clean, so smart, so pretty to see it too. And the hopping in and out of worlds is so fucking seamless. It is like Swiss cheese.
That definitely is the standout mechanic in this game. And it's very hard to explain.
Was like great until you said it's seamless like Swiss cheese. And then you lost me.
It's got to be a saying somewhere.
I don't think it is.
But yeah, the sound design and the music are very similar to the art style. You also have, in the sound design, also this mix of organic and mechanical. Because as Dave just said, you have the water. If you walk through water, it sounds like water. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of like what feels like electrical currents all around you. Like when you step on a platform that you can activate, your Mothman creature, his wings start to flutter a bit. Mm-hmm. But it sounds both organic and electrical in a way. It's a very, very interesting combination, but it absolutely works. And it has this organic sci-fi feel.
I think someone was just experimenting on moths to progress the future of becoming cyborgs. And that's why it's like that. I don't know the connection between jumping into marbles for worlds, but
as I said, there's a lot of interpreting going on, and even you can make your own headcanons about what happened and why and how. So that definitely is a possibility. I'm not
I think it's the
like
truth.
ruling it out.
I mean, one of the big aspects is just kind of taking out each of the bosses in each of the worlds, but you don't really know why or what's fully happening. Like I said, you walk up and there's this giant hulking metal insect monster who's just floating around this small room and then disintegrates into dust and goes into this marble, and you just take the marble and you just got to be okay with that. You then have to go inside the marble and beat the shit out of him.
It's like when you in Inside you just turn into the fleshy monster at the end. It's just like you just have to be okay with that.
Yeah, you just all right, it's Tuesday. It's gonna be Tuesday. That's what it is.
Fleshy Monster Tuesday.
The puzzles also have a very satisfying sound design because you do get like audio cues when you finish a puzzle, when you progress. I really like when games do that because that gives you an indication of, okay, I'm going in the right direction. This is a thing that I need to do to progress.
I mean, it's really important for this game, especially if you're going to be hopping in and out of worlds, doing numerous tasks to solve one puzzle. You need to know, and it gives you like, I don't know, it's like a chirp or a ding, but it lets you know it's like, all right, you did something here. You did something here, and it's like, oh, stop, like really.
But that's what I'm saying. I still felt like this was linear enough that I don't think I ever got lost. Maybe like in one of the later puzzles because I didn't know quite what I was supposed to do.
Same.
But in the beginning, I thought, oh my god, these walls are so expensive. But since you don't have all the powers at the beginning, there's really maybe one way. There really is just one way to go forward, and that was really motivating to me because I don't necessarily enjoy being able to go all the places and be confused about what's where. And yeah, that's what I really like. And the music is like this very synth heavy. It's more like a blanket of sound and less like individual songs. There is definitely, especially in the boss fights, you have different tracks and stuff. But to carry you through the main gameplay, it's more like a very oftentimes just one note that's playing and going on for a while. It's very soothing, and it really helps concentrate on the puzzles, in my opinion, and it fits perfectly into this abstract world.
It feels like everything's not necessarily a hive mind, but living in harmony together.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it. It feels like it was made out of one solid block of art, if that makes sense.
One block of clay has just been all carved apart.
It just feels so cohesive as a world building. Even if you hop into different worlds, it just feels like, yes, that's exactly how it should be.
I feel like hopping in and out of the world is like riding an escalator for the first time.
Yeah. Or riding a bike.
No, an escalator. That's much more exciting than riding a bike. You're gonna ride a bike a lot throughout your life. I don't know how many escalators you plan on going on.
I've been on way more escalators than I've ridden a bike.
Yeah,
that's just personality, lifestyle, right there.
I feel like me too. At this,
I've ridden a bike way more than I've ever been on an escalator, and I've broken escalators.
I have not.
Maybe that's the problem.
Look, what happens in DC stays in DC.
I haven't rode a bike in like probably 15 years or something. Probably since I learned how to ride a bike, I don't think I've rode a bike.
That used to be the only way of traversal for me.
I didn't go out as a kid.
I had to get to work. I lived like 2 miles.
That's a good distance for a bike ride.
Oh, my calves are still rock solid.
Still?
Nice.
Still.
Very nice. Went away.
But yeah, going a bit more into gameplay, as I said in the beginning, you have one action button. That's all you need. And with the left, yes, and with the left thumbstick, you navigate through the world. So you move your little creature around.
I will say too, because Dylan, you'll get this. The boss fights kind of feel like the way that they're angled and set like Death's Door boss fights. Like a circular pad, you're kind of looking at it from like a 45-degree angle, and it's a lot of just dodging stuff and making sure that like you get like the one main hit. Granted, Death's Door is a lot of like actual swinging, but like you're looking for the one sweet moment to get your one hit in and do that like 3 times.
Seize the one sweet moment.
Seize the one sweet moment and put barbecue sauce over it.
Ew. Don't do that. Don't ever do
that.
Barbecue sauce on my titties?
No. I think like the one button thing is such an ingenious gameplay design. Like if someone would have told me that's the only button that this game is gonna have, and it's gonna be so expensive, so big and so expensive, I would not have believed them that is a possible thing in today's video game world. But it is. Mm-hmm. And it works so well. And I don't know if I can describe it in a way that does it justice, because it's insane what they managed to do with just one button.
It's one of those accomplishments that make other people go, I'm gonna give up now.
Yes, that's what it feels like. Because you move platforms back and forth, you pick stuff up with that one button, you can go into walls with that one button. And
well, don't forget you put stuff down with that button.
Yeah, you put stuff down with that button. You also pull stuff and push stuff with that button. I just...
Can you fly with that button?
No.
Oh.
You attack with that button?
No fly. No flying in this game.
That button?
No flying for you. This is not a flying Dylan game.
No, I think that I'm going to find the fly. It's in here somewhere. It's hidden. I know it.
There should be a setting that tells you how many times you clicked A throughout your gameplay session.
Oh, a lot of times, yes.
Beat the game without clicking the button 400 times.
And I think the puzzles in and of themselves won't be anything that you haven't seen before. The way they are designed, though, that is so unique. Because I think the logic behind the puzzles you will get if you have played a few puzzle games before. Definitely. There isn't anything...
Or any modern AAA game, because it has some sort of mirror dimension in it nowadays.
Yeah. But the way that they incorporate that into the game is just... It's so good. And I don't know how else to say this. I do not have the words to describe it. It just feels so unique.
It's so smart.
And the learning curve, I think, is so good as well. Because it really teaches you step by step what you need to progress to the next area. It will show you something, and from that moment on, you know you can do that, and you will use those things. It doesn't forget anything. It just builds on top of what was already there. And that is especially important with going in and out of the worlds, because at first you only have one marble. So it teaches you can go into these marbles, and then you have different points in these worlds where you can come out again. And when you go back in, you land exactly where you were at that point.
Kind of like checkpoints.
Kind of like checkpoints, exactly. And then you learn, once you get a second marble, that you can leave objects and take objects from different checkpoints. And then you start using that knowledge that you have to solve puzzles. Because sometimes, as Dave has explained with the little drone creature, you need to go out of this world, need to let something happen in the world, and then you go back in. But you can also do that with checkpoints. You can go into it, put something there, then go to another checkpoint and get out of there at that point. And sometimes in different puzzles, you need to do that to solve a puzzle. And it always just continues to build on what you already know. And then the different marbles, once you defeat the boss of a specific marble, it gives you certain powers. The marble becomes powerful.
But only when you hold it.
Yes, only when you hold it. The orange marble, which you get first, for example, once you defeat that boss that you saw in the beginning, that disintegrates into the marble. Once you hold that marble, then it makes invisible paths visible and you can walk on them. That's the power of the orange marble, and that's also where the Metroidvania aspects, as you said,
that's also where the little collectibles start coming in.
Yes.
There are stuck fuckers, and they're fucked and they're stuck, and they're like, let me go, and you let them go, and they're gods, and then they fly away.
Also, the gods can fly.
That's also up to interpretation of what these things actually are, but but yeah, you do get these collectibles.
I've once heard them interpreted as stuck fuckers.
Stuck fuckers, exactly.
A wise man once said.
One man's interpretation. And the world hopping, I think, really is the coolest feature, because that opens so many possibilities that you don't think, or probably don't think of until the game teaches you this is what you can do with this.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also, like, with the lasers, some of them don't have like a consistent laser, but only like a bullet that they shoot out.
Mm-hmm.
And at certain points, you need that bullet to go into a marble and hit something in that world, but the laser is outside of the marble, and that sort of stuff. It's just
like you're shooting something into the orb, which is a world. Then you have to go into that world, which is getting something shot out. So like the bullet will go into the world, into the orb, and then it'll come out of the checkpoint that you came from in the direction that it's being shot into. So you have to change the direction of the checkpoint sometimes and make sure that it's hitting the right thing at the right time and doing this. Like, it is, the timings are very distinct, and there's a lot to set up for them.
But it feels so good once you get it and you make it work. It's amazing.
It feels so good. Like it's one of those games this year where I'm like, it's a short game, but even so, I was like, all right, I want to put this down half an hour later. All right, I want to put this down 20 minutes later. Like, all right, I should stop. Like, it's so, you just keep like, what if I do one more thing? It keeps drawing you back in this.
And I also really feel like this is one of those games, if you're stuck, just leave it there for like a couple of hours and come back and try something else, and it will work.
Mm-hmm.
That was at least my experience, because sometimes your brain can get stuck into one solution and doesn't want to look at anything else, but if you give yourself time, you will think of something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that worked really well with Cocoon in particular this year for me. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but for me it really, really worked.
It's good. It's so good. That is a thing.
It's just, as I said, if a puzzle game can really make you feel like you are smart for having solved this puzzle, then it just did what it was supposed to do. You're not supposed to make me feel like an idiot, and you're not supposed to make it super easy. And it's like this very good middle ground. But there also was a point for me where my brain just broke, and I did a puzzle and I could not recreate it because I just had no idea how that worked.
Towards the end, there's a couple ones that don't make any sense. And sometimes you do things and they happen, and you're not going to question the good things in life.
Exactly. But it's just a really, really good game. And if you like puzzle games, then you need to play this. You need to. It's really one of the great ones, in my opinion. And it is, for me, an 8.5.
Dave?
Did I give it a rating? I did. I gave it an 8. On the very limited doc that I began to write days ago and did nothing on. I thought, God, this is like, I love puzzle games in general. Like, I fucking love puzzles, but like this game, man, made me just feel so good, and all of it was so clever, and it really like this is the first time, at least on Xbox, that I've seen something it's a small game, but be able to handle that like 0 loading time, like quick switch, hop in and out, like it's insane how fast and seamless
it's the
it
Spider-Man
feels.
of Xbox.
It does, and it feels really, really cool. And it's like I just want to keep like hop in and out, and then all right, now go do the puzzle. That was just, it feels cool.
It really brings the gameplay, it brings the style, and it's such a good package.
And it's so short too. It's such a cute, perfect little. It doesn't stay too long either. Like you almost want a little bit more.
Exactly. When puzzle games can really overstay their welcome, they really can, and this one does not. It shows you a mechanic, it uses that mechanic, and then you have that knowledge, and you will need to use it until the end of the game. And it's so good. It's so good it makes me aggressive.
Yeah.
Dylan, you gotta play it at some point, hopefully, because it's so short and it's so good.
It'll happen.
Once you have time again, it'll happen.
Once I'm in the grave, it'll
come 2025. Cocoon, Dylan's review, director's cut.
Director's cut, yeah, there we go.
I'd love that.
All the episodes Dylan wasn't here for, we all do director's cuts of just him doing commentary. Now
well,
this
he
is
was
how
here
I
for
would
this
have done
one.
it.
But yeah, thank you. That was my review of Cocoon.
So good. I wanted to talk about this game so much sooner. I've been talking about this game for weeks.
And now we finally got it out of our system, Dave.
Finally. And then I played a new game, Jusant, and now I just want to talk about that.
We're running out of time for
if it's in your game
for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it's in your Game of the Year, you can totally talk about it then.
I don't know about that, but it's a good game. We also got a lot of other good games releasing this upcoming week. Dylan, what's your favorite?
Yes. November 9th, Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. You are back as Kiryu. You are playing through the events of what happened between Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon.
So is this before Joryu or the beginning of Joryu?
This is Joryu.
So this is Joryu.
This is a prequel to the other Like a Dragon game?
So
it's been confusing as shit for a while.
No, it's straightforward.
No, it's not. They decided to go turn-based, and it went to garbage. That's when it became
an exaggeration.
It's shit.
You have Yakuza 0 through 6 in order.
Great games.
Playing as Kiryu.
But they didn't come out in that order.
No.
They did not. No. But they mostly did. It was 0 that was added down the line.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 6.
And then?
Then Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon came out. You're not playing Kiryu anymore. This is when it went turn-based.
Ichiban.
You playing, yes, as Ichiban.
And that's after 6.
That is after 6.
Okay.
Now,
that was when Kiryu got stabbed for the last time. He's like, I'm done with this shit.
Like a Dragon Gaiden is kind of bridging the gap of what was going on with Kiryu during that span of after 6 and during 7 and leading into 7, because Yakuza 8 is you're gonna play as both Kiryu and Ichiban.
Because they can't get rid of him.
Oh god. Okay, so what was that weird prequel game that we talked about once upon a blue moon?
Ishin.
Oh, that's not canon.
Okay.
That's like all the characters if it was like in samurai times.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry about
that clarification.
Yakuza's so good. Where's this motherfucker? Where's my resentment? Come here. This piece of shit right here. You absolute sack of garbage. I love this case though, but goddamn, I don't want to play this game.
You're extra aggressive about it today. It's usually not this aggressive.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, this is like Skull and Bones.
It's usually just like, oh, I wish it wasn't turn based. Oh, I should have stayed. Now it's like, you fucking piece of shit. Anyway, it's coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
It could be so much better. But that's the thing. This one's gonna be like fighting, right?
This is the brawler style. Yes, not turn-based.
I'm still gonna play Judge Eyes 2.
I never finished that.
Me either.
It's really good though.
All right. November 10th, Call of Duty Modern Shitfare 3 releases. IGN gave the campaign a 4. I don't understand how Activision can keep releasing the games in states like this when none of it's even being developed anymore. It's all just like fucking
money,
marketplace asset placement garbage and open map shit-faced fucking dumbass objectives that mean nothing and are just spitting in the face of Call of Duty of the past. I care about the campaigns, and they haven't done a good one in a hot minute.
All right, tell us how you really feel.
PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PC.
Okay, I swear I'm gonna be more calm about the next one. Broken Roads is releasing
Broken Roads!
On November 14th for PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PC, Linux, and Mac. This is an RPG set in a post-apocalyptic Australia, and it has a really interesting morality system that I want to take a look at, and it looks good. Do I just do the other two too?
I know the next one.
Okay, good. Go for it.
I don't.
American Arcade. It's like the Truman Show. American Arcadia.
Oh, I remember that one.
Coming on November 15th to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I think that game looks cool.
I played the demo. It's so neat.
I remember this. They talked about this a long ass time ago.
You're doing like the two different characters, and they have like two different gameplay styles.
Exactly.
Right?
You have one that is a side-scrolling platformer, and the other one is a first-person puzzle solving. And sometimes they need to work together.
Ooh.
It looks so good. It looks so good.
It's Spider-Man.
Yes, it's Jure Loventhal, and he is perfect in the role. It's his role. It just is.
It's really good. Out of honey.
Also on November 15th, we have Zips Cafe, which is coming for PC. This is a coffee talk like, if that is a genre that exists.
Coffee talk like.
It's set in the world of Chicken Police, which
much
was
more forgiving.
Which was a point-and-click adventure game, a really good one.
All right.
It's also coming up.
We got anything else coming out? Hogwarts Legacy for Switch.
Great.
You care. You give a shit.
It'll run great.
It'll
at some point they got to stop bringing some of those games to Switch.
I talked to a GameStop dude yesterday. He's like, the Fractured But Whole is on Switch. I'm like, dude, it's the Switch. They're still trying to figure out what they can put on it.
Well, that could definitely run on a Switch.
It could, but the Switch is just a hand-me-down with a few couple gems of their own games. It's just hand-me-downs of old games to take on the go, like a pack of bubble gum.
You're in a mood today.
Don't take like hand-me-downs of bubble gum and carry it around with you. That's gross.
ABC gum is the best gum out there.
I don't know what that is.
ABC?
Already been chewed.
Oh.
Get it?
Yes.
Because it's you. Okay. Is Gaiden coming to Game Pass? Was it?
Not on release, I don't think.
I don't know. I honestly...
It's not. It's not. I was literally just looking at the coming soon last night on Game Pass. It's not. You could type all you want. It's not going to happen. You could keep looking for it, and it's not there.
Coming soon to Game Pass, Like a Dragon Gaiden.
I don't believe that's true.
Let's see. Thirsty Suitors. Let's see. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. Cloud, console, and PC, November 9th. Available on day one with Game Pass. Erase your past and protect your future.
Shit.
Once a legendary Yakuza, Cosmic Hero faked his own death and abandoned his name for the sake of protecting his family.
Are you making that up? Because I was literally looking last night on the Xbox, and that was not there. Yeah, show me.
Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name.
Well, I can't
November
see
9th.
any of that. I see
there
me.
There we go. Well,
I see it.
My thing isn't fucking long enough. Just go to Microsoft Xbox Wire. Just
Microsoft Xbox Wire.
1, 2, 3.
So in a couple days, it's coming out on Game Pass, and that's how I'll be playing it.
Well, that's wonderful.
See, I have a reason to talk on this podcast. We love a moment.
I was literally just on the Xbox looking at the coming soon on Game Pass, and it did have.
Yeah, it's not in there. I just looked too, but it might be.
I don't think because it's not released yet. It might be one of those things.
I don't think Thirsty Suitors was in there either. So.
But November 9th, you'll be able to play it on Game Pass. That's how I'll be playing.
Perfect. I'd love to play games without having to buy them for $60 or $70.
You're welcome, Dylan. I'm glad I didn't make you spend money.
All right.
You never make me.
Well, sometimes I asked you for food.
Yeah, but you didn't make me. You didn't put like a gun to my head and say, food.
I'll hit you.
Thanks, Lyle.
Thanks, Dylan. Thanks, Dave.
Donkey!